Good morning to all. A warm welcome to this third day FDP. Okay, this is the last session, and I am inviting Dr. Siddhartha sir. Along with me, we have Jani Basa sir, and also I'm also inviting Dr. Gausbek sir. Sir, Dr. Siddhartha sir and Gausbek sir. Good morning, sir. In the first day, Dr. Siddhartha sir has delivered a wonderful information to us. Thank you, sir. Today also we are expecting the same thing. First of all, I thank to our HOD, Dr. K.V. Subbareddy, Computer Science Department, Kalmhanad Reddy Institute, and also I thank my management for giving this opportunity to conduct this FDP. And once again, all the participants from the different colleges, welcome you, sir. Now, I am handovering this FDP session to our eminent speaker, Dr. Siddhartha sir. Sir, Dr. Siddhartha sir.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Please hand over, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, thanks for the warm welcome. Good morning, professors. So, hope you're having a good day. Fine. So yesterday, I think you had a nice session with Gauss, sir. So, Dr. Gauss has been explaining about other kind of Bitcoin, right? So, we have been speaking about one kind of Bitcoin, I mean, the major Bitcoin. So, he spoke about Ethereum, the next level of Bitcoin. He did really a good job. So let me continue from the place where I exactly left it over. Okay. So once again, a warm good morning to everyone. So okay. So before getting into the core FDP where we actually left it up, so we'll have a small preview of what we saw. Okay. So I got this habit because daily my mom and dad is watching Mahabharata. So every time they have been giving a recap to understood. Even my mom left something in yesterday's serial, so they have been keep on notifying that. So let me do the same. Okay, so fine, blockchain. And if you have still any pending doubts, if something has been really itching you, like, so without knowing this how to proceed further, I should really know about this, if anything is there, let's take 2 or 3 minutes so that you can put that in the chat session of the previous session, so that I'll be fulfilled, so that we can start from the next session, because still you are having some hang up doubts just because of time constraint we didn't ask last time. So let us finish that. Sir, kindly enable the chat session for some 2 or 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, okay, sir. I enabled, sir.
Make sure that participants are very sure about the first session. Then we move to the next one.
Yes, chat box is enabled, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, dear professors, anything only regarding with the first session? If we didn't deal about something, better don't have some doubts on it. We'll have that in our upcoming session. So, whatever the things that we dealt in the first session, in the first day of the session, if you have any doubts, you can please ask here. So, or else we will proceed. Okay, fine. So I think we are good enough to go. Thank you. So fine. And if you have any audio quality problem also, please kindly make it mention. Okay, right. So thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll start it up. Okay. So before getting into that, let me give a small flashback of what we already see. So blockchain, already said you like how the blockchain is formed. So let us see from the chronological order, like what we started from over there. Like initially we started, what is the need of blockchain? Why this technology, right? See, these are the questions we answered, right? First of all, what is the need of blockchain? We are having a lot of already existing technology. Why all of a sudden a new technology? So if this technology comes, why all the countries are not accepting it? If the countries accept, what are the problems they are having? So these are the real-time problems. Come to the inside technology. So how the technology is being formed? why cryptography is being used in blockchains, how the chain is formed from one block to other block to other block, who are called miners, what is their fees, what is called a reward, right? How a transaction is being uploaded into a block. To successfully upload a transaction, what are the parameters we have to check it out? What is the checkbox? What is the bucket list you have to notify when you step into blockchain, right? What are the things that you have to tick mark on it to step into blockchain? So what are the terms and terminologies that you have to be so aware once you get into blockchain, right? We have seen a lot of terms like nodes, MD5, miner, rewards, right? So consensus protocol, proof of work, right? A lot of terms which has been we never ever heard before that, right? So a lot of new terms. So hope you had a small research over that. So at least if not so, at least you will do it for sure for the upcoming session, right? So from slide we will just go through it. Okay, so you can see here. So first of all, we see these kind of primitives, authenticity, integrity, why these primitives are required. Then I said about a symmetric and asymmetric key. So what is the major need of symmetric key and asymmetric key? The problem with symmetric key is we have been always using a single key. That is not enough. We always have to go with the dual key. That's been involving with both public and private. And digital signature also, I said that actually the major use of the digital signature is, I already said you, like whenever a block has been created by a miner, so where will you use digital signature? You will always have a question, right? Because no one asked the question. That's why I am asking the question. I am answering. See, actually, this is the basic question you should have been asked. Sir, you said that every time there are a lot of transactions. Okay, all the transactions are stored in the block. Fine. Every time a block is creating a hash. Okay, and the hash is created by using a Merkle tree. Fine. Okay. Now, how the block is added into the chain? I already said you the block will create a hash. The hash is more like a puzzle. That puzzle is given to a lot of miners. The miners who successfully decode the puzzle will take the block, will own the block, and he will take the block and add it to the blockchain. Right? This is what the major principle what we saw. Fine. So I hope everything is pretty clear with this. Now I'll ask you a question. Okay, fine. The miner adds a block. The block is added, but I already said you in a particular chain there are tons and tons of miners who have been working. It's not about just 2 or 3 guys who are working and competing for a block, right? So it is more like a lottery, right? You are giving lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So imagine how many miners are going to compete for that. If a miner successfully, after completion of the block, who will know that this particular block is being mined by whom? Have you ever thought of that? I already said you miners have purposefully any constant ID they don't have. They don't have a username. They don't have a password. Right? They don't have any identity, but still they are adding a block, right? But how will you know that this block belongs to this miner? He is the successful miner who mined the block. We have to give the reward to him. How will you know? This is the basic question you should have been asking me the last class, right? Because I had this question when I started blockchain. See, there are some questions like without even realizing it will hit us. Come on, like how can this happen? So because it's not been involving with a few hundreds of persons, it's been involving millions of persons who are rather be involved with the transactions or with the clients or with the miners or with the reward guys. So who are be, right? So it's been the chain is been quite big, right? Then definitely this question will get arise because this is more like an authenticity. Initially we saw that, right? Authenticity is who is the particular authenticated person for that block. Okay. So the block should show that who mined me. He is the guy who mined me. Give the reward to him. How will you know that? That is the case where will you use the digital signature. Okay. Every time when a miner mined the block successfully, he will put his own digital signature in the block. Suppose you are having 100 and 1200 block. All of a sudden you want to know that who mined the 125th block, who mined the 200th block, who mined the 950th block. All of a sudden you need the information. How will you come to know? Since everything is being so covered up, everything has been hashed, how will you know who is the exact miner? Now you have to see the digital signature. Digital signature is more like a fingerprint. Fingerprint cannot be duplicated, as like digital print cannot be duplicated. Digital signatures cannot be duplicated. right? It's more like your SSL digital certificate when you are dealing with your emails, right? You know how the websites have been connecting to you. Suppose you are giving www.google.com, how you are getting a Google homepage, how Google is authenticated you. So that's a whole new different topic. I don't want to get into that. That is basically done by a term called digital certificates, right? So what we are speaking to is similar to that, called digital signature. This is also so unique, right? So this cannot be different from minor to minor. Okay, that's the reason why we are using digital signature. Okay, come back. Cryptographic hashing algorithm. You can see here, right? So this is a hashing algorithm, and let me say you one more thing. Do you see this slide? Hope you can see this. See here, Fox cryptographic hash function. You are having a message like this, like 4, 8, 16. Okay, 3, 4, 5. So 2 5 rows, cross of 4 digits per string. Okay. Now see the next one. The red fox jumps over the blue dog. It is going into a cryptographic hash function, and you are getting a hash code. Good. Third one. The red fox jumps over the blue dog, but see the over spelling. They are highlighted. Rather for V, they had given U. See it carefully. So take the first 3 examples. See, if I am using only a 3-letter word, okay, just FOX, 3-letter, the word. See what is the digest value I am getting. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next thing, I am using a 8-word sentence. Second one consists of 8-word sentence going into the cryptographic hash function. See what is the digest value you are getting. How come? Even for a 3-letter word, you are getting a same number of digest. Even for a 8-letter word, you are getting a same number of digest. Okay, fine. The next one, see. One more example. Just I changed a single word, right? Instead of OVER, I have given OUER. See the cryptographic hash function. Just see it. Entire function is different. Just because I changed a single letter, here the hash function didn't change it for a single bit. Entire bits are being changed. This is what the greatest plus point in the cryptographic hash function. Even a comma, even a caps are small difference will make you change the entire hash function. Just to change one word and one hash will know. It has been irrespective of how many letters you change. Complete hash function will change. Whether you use a single word called A, or else you use a complete your PhD thesis, hash your complete PhD thesis, and only has a single letter alphabet A, still you will get a same amount of hash function only. Just because your input varies, that doesn't mean that your hash function also giving you with more letters of, with more bits of hash function. No, it doesn't. Right? That is always a constant bit of hash you will receive. Right? This will never change. This will make the job more tougher for the hackers, so that the hackers doesn't know that how many letters you are hashing. Rather it be a whole thesis or it be a single alphabet. Hacker doesn't know because all the outputs are same. Only of these 2 rows, right? So cryptographic nonce and timestamp. I already said you what is nonce. Nonce is an arbitrary value, and it's like a not a predefined fixed value, right? It is like a random value that is being generated. Timestamp, I already said in the time exactly the transaction is called a timestamp. Like what is a blockchain, components, cryptocurrencies, pseudonymous, Bitcoin. Yeah, seen enough of this, right? So one more thing, a small introduction: version, Merkle root, hash of the previous block, nonce, difficult target. Okay, and the remaining thing is balance code, list of transactions. What are the transactions done in the block? So Merkle tree, I already said you for how the every transaction is been paired up. Every time Merkle tree will hash only 2 transactions, right? Pair by pair, pair by pair. Finally, it will hash all the 500 transactions, and finally it will give you the root hash. Okay, fine. So welcome to today's class. Okay, fine. Now we are going to see how the real Bitcoin transaction is going to happen. See here. What happens when Bitcoin transaction is going to happen? Let's have the 2 persons, Tom and Alice, right? So even I am right from the age I am doing tech, I am studying cryptography. I don't know where this Tom and Alice are coming from. They keep on haunting behind me. Everywhere you go, this Alice comes. So one day or other day I'll meet her and ask the question, why you keep on following the CSE guys? Okay, Tom and Alice. So Fine. Here, Tom is going to send a certain amount of Bitcoin to Alice. Okay. So let's have that he is going to send 2 BTC. BTC is called as a Bitcoin, right? Tom is already having 5 Bitcoin. He is going to transfer 2 Bitcoin. Now, whatever you are going to see is the live real-time transaction. This is how it will happen. Okay, fine. So I already said you, Tom doesn't have the username. So just for Tom and Alice, I'm saying for your purpose, whether in blockchain, it doesn't replicate Tom or Alice or X or Y, anything, right? Only in blockchain, it will replicate, right? What is his address? What is his balance? That's it. So its address has been given 0x123. So 0 cross 123 and his available Bitcoin is 5 Bitcoin. Okay, fine. Now Tom is having 5 Bitcoin. He wants to send 2 Bitcoin to Alice, right? See, the input is 5, output is 2, and 3 Bitcoin to Tom himself as a chain. First of all, you have to realize, if you want to transfer some money, right, you have to always transfer your entire set of money so that the software will decide how much money you want to send, and it will take that, and the remaining money will again come to you. Make this very clear. This is one of the major principle in the Bitcoin principle, right? If you want to transfer the 2 coins to Alice, you better give all the 5 coin. It will go to Alice, and Alice will deduct 2 Bitcoin, and 3 Bitcoin will again come back to you, right? This is a software, so don't worry, it won't cheat you, right? It will definitely give back the 3 remaining coins. Now see here. So we are going to see one more term called unspent transaction output, UTXO. This is one of the major constraints in the Bitcoin. Wherever you are going to study Bitcoin, so what are the, if you want to go to do some certifications in Bitcoin, this UTXO is the one term that you cannot skip, right? It is one of the mandatory term that you are going to use in Bitcoin. So what is a UTXO? The explanation is, the abbreviation goes like unspent transaction output. The name itself says, right, unspent transaction. If Tom is having 10 rupees, he is giving 5 rupees. What is the UTXO value? It's remaining 5, right? Right. That's how the unspent transaction works it up. Come back here. So how to calculate the Tom's balance? This can be found in the UTXO database, which resides in each Bitcoin wallet. Now I said what is the abbreviation of UTXO. Now I'll say what UTXO actually in your wallet. UTXO is a database. What the database will contain? The database will contain how much amount you have, how you got that amount, from that amount how much you are going to give the X or Y person. If you give certain amount to the X or Y person, what is the change you are going to get back, right? All the complete transaction details will be saved in the ledger, distributed, I mean, so your ledger, I mean your database. Okay, see here, you have to clearly notify one thing. Okay, how much you are giving to other person, how much she is taking, how much you are getting back, keep all those things aside. How you got that 5 Bitcoins, even that details should be over there. Who sent that Bitcoin? Whether did you got that 5 Bitcoin by legal? Whether that's been any double spent coins? Whether that's been you got through any anomaly hacker, just like that came and you cannot, your account can be credited with 100 coins. No, every single penny you need to show the complete records, right? So it's more like how our Indian moms act, right? If your mom gives me 100 rupees and asks me to shop for 50, if I come with remaining 45, she will ask for every penny. Where that 5 rupees then? What you bought? Tell me. So this is more like our Indian mom's mindset. It will ask you every record. You cannot skip it. Okay. Now come back here. So Tom's balance is calculated by the real time by looking into UTXO database. If Tom initiates a transfer of 2 Bitcoin to Alice, then the above inputs would be locked, right? So once you send the 2 Bitcoin, you cannot revert it back. As soon as if you give 2 Bitcoin, it will get locked and saved in the database. Simply you cannot revert and get back. Number one, the input should be locked. That's an important point. That's why they mentioned in the highlighted with red. And sent as the part of transaction. So 2 Bitcoin to Alice and 3 Bitcoin to himself. He is giving 5 and 3 is coming back to himself. Next. Listen here. So this is how Tom is having 5 Bitcoin. You can ask me the question, sir, why the 5 Bitcoin is being splitted into 2 BTC, 1 BTC, 1.5, 0.5. Why can't it be 3 BTC and 2 BTC? Because 3 plus 2 is also 5, right? The denomination. Suppose you are having 100 rupees in the sense that consists of 10 rupees, right? So that's called the denominations. So here how the denomination is been happening. Why can't 3 and 2? Why? Because this is how Tom has received this money. Are you getting the point? See, that's why I said Bitcoin has been so interesting here. Like if you just listen, keep on getting immersed in this, you'll really, I'm saying, it won't leave you. Even in your dreams, you'll get off Bitcoin. Every small aspects what they're included in Bitcoin is really so lovable to learn. See here, the 5 Bitcoin, how the Tom received the 5 Bitcoin in denomination, the same way he's having the denomination. If he want to give Alice to some money, he can give only in this denomination. Are you getting the point? So sorry, there's a small mistake over there. Actually, I got it from open source, so they just given in like that only. So it's not prepared by me. So just see this 5 BTC to be transferred to Alice, right? Actually, that is only of 3 BTC. They're given it wrong, right? So Tom is giving 3 BTC to Alice. Now listen here. First of all, Tom has to unlock the inputs. There are 2 things, sir. One thing is unlocking, other thing is locking. Until unless you are unlocking your money, you can give it up. More like you are having 1,000 rupees in your cupboard or a bureau. You are going to a dad. You are asking some 500 rupees. First, dad will open the bureau. First, dad will open the cupboard, like unlocking. He will unlock the cupboard. He will give you 500 rupees, right? So more like our real-time transaction. First, you have to unlock your wallet. So he is unlocking the 5 Bitcoin. Okay, fine. After unlocking, he has to give 3 Bitcoin. How he is giving the 3 Bitcoin? Like 1 BTC, 1.5 BTC, 0.5 BTC. From the lowest denomination, he is giving his 3 BTC. Always the denomination will go from the transfer will go from the lowest denomination. Okay. So he is giving you 0.5, 1.5, 1. See here, again. See carefully. He didn't give only 1 BTC, 1.5, 0.5. He has given his entire 5 BTC. See Alice account. Alice is having the entire 5 BTC. But what the software is doing, the software is giving only 3 BTC. And again, it's reverting back the 2 BTC to Tom. Okay, fine. So initially he transferred the 5 BTC. So, and then he is getting back the 2 BTC. So, okay, fine. This is a transaction that's been happening. So what are the things that the transaction will have it up? Let's come back to our traditional transaction. You are sending some money to me in a Google Pay. What are the things you will have? Whom you send, how much you send, what is the time you send. You will be having a separate ID, which is called as a transaction ID, right? These are the details. Even you have it in the bank account or whatever it will be, right? Same thing. One thing they are additionally added is version. What is the version? Input counter, output counter are very input counter. How many you are having in your input? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, input counter is input. What's the input? 5 BTC. Output counter. How much he is giving? 2, 3. Right. Because 1 will return back to you. And the output is 1. Because the output is again come back to you. Block timestamp. Timestamp is what is the time that you are delivering. So these are the basic things you are giving it. This is how the transaction will be happening. Next, come back here. How to calculate Tom balance? For example, 5 BTC. He has given this. Tom balance is calculated real time by looking into the UTXO database. Fine. If you want to know what is the current Tom's balance, you have to look to his UTXO, which is mean unspent transaction output. Then the name says that, right? Unspent. If I'm having 1,000 rupees, for 500 I bought some things from a mall. Remaining 500. If you ask what is my UTXO, my UTXO is 500. Right? I'm having 500 over there. If Tom initiates 2 BTC to Alice, then the input should be locked and sent as the part of a transaction. 2 BTC to Alice, 3 BTC himself. That's it. The entire input is locked. Again, you cannot change. If you want to change that, you cannot change the existing transaction. Are you getting the point? Okay, fine. You want to send 5 BTC to Alice. So far, you have sent only 3. No, sir. I want to change it up. Again, I want to send 5. Can I change the 3 to 5? No, you can't. Send the 3, that is locked. Your UTXO has been returned to you. Now, if you want to send again to initiate one more transaction and then give to. This is our traditional output, right? So Tom, suppose our normal bankings. Suppose $1,000 Tom has to transfer. So he's having $1,000. He want to transfer 2,000. So normally he will get transfer 2,000. Remaining 8,000 he will be having. See here in our traditional transaction, all the 1,000 is not going to bank B. And the bank B is not returning you 8,000. You are giving only 2,000. That is the major difference between Bitcoin transaction and your traditional transaction. Okay. So fine. So next thing is UTXO transaction. So don't blame me for using this picture. So I can't help it. I'm a very big fan of Vijay. So I don't know whether you people are from South India. I mean deep South. So I am just bored of this Tom and Alice, right? So how many times to keep on using that? So I just went to see for different examples. I got this. So let me use this. Let's, and the picture itself says, right? So there is a akka who is selling a fish in marina. So actually in Tamil, akka is being termed as sister, right? I hope so. The same word in Telugu also. Okay. So see the picture of Vijay. He's asking for one fish, right? So I don't know whether I am praising or trolling him, so, but I should not, right? Being a fan, it's not fair to troll your own actor. Okay. So he's asking for one fish, okay, from akka, who is been selling a fish market in marina. Let's see this transaction. Like they are going to transfer all these stuffs in Bitcoin. That's an imaginary thing. Vijay is going to buy a fish from akka who is selling fishes in marina. And whether you don't know, or let's keep this Bitcoin in a hold. We'll talk for some 1 or 2 minutes. I don't know how many of you actually visited Chennai. So once you come to Chennai, you have to, for damn sure, visit Marina. Please don't go to Chennai now. So it is so horrible. So even I can't go there. So I am in Madurai. So if you go to Chennai, if you go to Marina, so there is a term, a shop called Akka Shop. Actually, it's a real shop. You can search in Google. So Akka's Fish Shop. It is been like famous. You can't even imagine how famous it is. Foreigners, actors, politicians will be standing in a queue to eat over there. So it is an excellent place. You should not miss it up. So it's one of the best seafood that you could ever get that. So if you are a vegan or vegetarian, sorry, please keep it. Okay. So come back here. So fine. So Vijay is going to Marina, is going to buy a fish from akka. Okay. This is the amount Vijay is having. Right? Vijay is having 1,000 rupees, and the 1,000 rupees are being in the denomination of 500. See, he is going to do a Bitcoin transaction. Imagine in that way. You don't see this money. I'm just saying for your example, all this money, what he is going to transact, we are going to convert that into a Bitcoin transaction. Right? I was impressed with this example. That's why I chosen this for you. So even you can find this. This is open source only. Fine. So Vijay is having a 1,000 rupees, and this is what his denomination. Okay. Fine. Come here. UTXO. So fish transaction. They are giving the name as a fish transaction that's been in a data structure. In a transaction, a set of UTXOs are consumed in order to produce a new UTXO. You should always remember this. Previous example I said, Tom is having 5 Bitcoins, he is giving 3 to Alice, and remaining, sorry, he is giving 2 to Alice, and remaining 3 is coming back to Tom. How Tom is getting a new unspent transaction? Whenever you are spending your old transaction, I mean old unspent transaction, you will get a new one. Okay, that's what I said. In part, you cannot give money. I'll give you 1 Bitcoin. I will have 3 Bitcoin. No, you cannot say that. You give all the Bitcoin, and you mention how much you have to send to X or Y. The software will take and give it, and it will give back to you. Right? That's why I said Bitcoin is a lot more secure. Everything is being algorithms over there. No one can cheat that. Right? So here, so see the fish transaction input and output. Input is set of outputs from the previous transaction. Listen, read that word carefully. Input is set of outputs from the previous transaction. Output is set of outputs for the future transaction. Don't worry, I'll explain you. Input, right? So I said you Vijay is having 1,000 rupees, right? So he is going to transfer that. Where he got that the 1,000 rupees? I already said you it cannot come out of the blue, right? From nowhere, all from the sudden sky, you cannot get the 1,000 rupees. Some X or Y person has transferred to Vijay. Let's have Mahesh Babu and Pawan Kalyan has transferred some amount to Vijay, right? So he should be having some previous guys who are transferring the money. That is called the previous transaction. That output what Vijay is going to send to akka, that set of output from previous transaction. Previously, someone has given to Vijay, right? Fine. Output, set of outputs for the future transaction, right? What is the set of outputs Vijay is having? That akka will give you some money back, right? So after getting the amount for fish, that is the output Vijay is going to spend for future transaction. I'll explain you more clear. Come now. See here, input. Output of the, what are the things that you will be having in input is output of values 500 rupees from the previous transaction. So Vijay is having, I said you 2 500s, right? So how the 2 500s came from? Value of 500 came from the previous transaction. I said right. Let's say Mahesh Babu and Pawan Kalyan has already given 500 rupees to Vijay. That's the previous transaction. Now output. See here. Output value of 600 to Akka. Why? That one fish price is 600. That is the output. So Vijay has to give 600 from his hand, right? So he's giving 600. As I already said you, if you want to give 600, you cannot just give only 600. You want to give entire 1000. Akka will return you back how much you want back. Okay. Listen here. Output of 600 you are giving to Akka. Output you 400 for Vijay. How? Akka is giving back the 500. That is the output going from the Akka. Right? I hope I am not confusing you. Vijay is having 1000. He is giving the 1000 to Akka and he is buying a fish. One fish price is 600. So Vijay is giving 600 rupees to Akka. Actually, he is giving entire 1000. But we don't need to take that up. How much money he is really giving? Because the remaining 400 is going to come back, right? So now we can total the amount 600. What's the total amount Vijay already had? 1000. So calculation is perfect, right? Fine. So he is giving back the 500 rupees, getting back from Akka. Now again see here. Inside the output, I said you already there are two things in output and two things in our input. First of all, you see the input. If you go into that value of 500 from the previous transaction, you just click that. What are the details it will be having? I will show you here. See here. First of all, see here. Transaction ID. Which previous transaction are you referring to? You had given 500 rupees. You said that you got 500 rupees from Mahesh Babu. Okay. Who gave that 500 rupees? His transaction ID. It will have that. Next one. Output index. Which output of that transaction? Signature. Proof that this output belongs to Vijay only. Right? Once the output is being sent by Mahesh Babu to Vijay, once it received to Vijay, the digital signature will change that because he is the amount holder. Right? So he will be having his own signature, the proof that belongs to Vijay only. Right? So that proof will also say that the transaction ID. Yes, Mahesh Babu transferred 500. That is being saved in the UTX ledger. One can change it. Right? Again, one more thing. Now the first one is done. Right? See for the second one. Output value of 500 from the previous ledger. Similarly, same because you are having two 500s, right? So two details will be there. Are you getting the point? If you are having two denomination, two details will be there. You are not having 1000 rupees in a single note, so that you can give it a same denomination. Though government that banned that, right? You are having two 500s, right? So fine. You can see here. I think this PPT was created after demonetization. Okay, they are used only 500s. So which previous transaction are you referring to? What is the output of the transaction? Proof that belongs to Vijay. Okay, fine. Because this cannot change. Only the same thing. But where it will change? Transaction ID. Right? Because when he sends that two output in a different transaction, you will be having different transaction ID. Always note down that. Come back here. Output. What is the, if you go into the output, what are the things you will be having? Output value of 600 for Akka. Output is 600. That script, as well script is the name that we are giving up, right? Whatever the name can be. What it will say that, which says that only Akka should be able to spend that. Vijay is giving 600. Only Akka, all of a sudden, no one person come and trying for the 600. It's mine. No. In the transaction ledger, it's been clearly given that this transaction ID is going to Akka for buying this particular fish, right? Next one, see. Output of value 400 rupees for Vijay. Again, Akka is giving back that 400, right? Which says that only Vijay should be able to spend it. Listen carefully. Even though Akka had that 400, she given back to Vijay. And it means that only Vijay could spend that 400. It's very simple, sir, right? Only thing is we are speaking in some blockchain terms. Output, input, value, script, amount. That's a very normal transaction. I'm giving some amount to the person. He is taking how much amount he wants and giving back to him. As simple as that. And all these are done by the software. No human intervention is here, right? All you need is to give the transaction, give the block address to whom you want to send. That is the only thing you are going to do. So this is how the final transaction will look like. These are the details. Check it. Transaction ID, output index, signature. I said you right, signature. This signature is the, you can see how many bits are there. So this is the digital signature formed by the person who are sending back to this. The same thing, output also you can see that. So you are having some terms, right? Duplicate, hash, 160, public hash. See in output. The second output, fish transaction, second output, you are having is amount 600. You are having some terms, right? Check sig, equal verify, pub hash, pub key, all those stuff. So every term is having a separate explanation. I'll give that to later. Okay, we are going to see. the next slides. Come back. You can see the name also here, right? The next transaction output, see in V in and V out, right? Particularly see that V out. V out, can you see the name of pub key of Akka, pub key of Vijay, right? Why they are given the name of pub key of Akka? Because that 600 is going to Akka. Pub key is public key, right? So when you are transferring a 600 to Akka, that public key will be forwarded to all the persons who have been present in the block. Why? Because to validate the transaction, I already said you, every transaction you are going to put up in a block has to be validated by everyone. If everyone wants to validate your transaction, they need your public key. Then what about the private key? The private key is the one key they are going to generate it up. That is called hashing algorithm. By using the hashing, they are going to generate the private key also. They are going to match public and private key. Once that matches with your target cache, they are going to add with the block. Once it get added with the block, they are going to get the reward, right? This is the whole movie, what is going to happen. So as soon as the 600 has been transferred, public key of Akka has been distributed. As soon as 400 has been transferred back to Vijay, again the public key of Vijay has been published. Now, so that public key is available to everyone, right? So not an issue. Shall I give you an example? Again, in the public key and private key, even to my students, I will say this. So if you have any doubt, you can always look for the post box. Right, I had studied somewhere, I googled it somewhere. It's a very useful example. You are having a post box, right? Every time when you are putting a letter in a post box, you, me, X, Y, Tom, Dick, and Harry, anyone can put a post in the post box, because post box will be having two locks. Upside you are having a space to put out the post, and downside there will be a lock to take all the post. That key will be with whom? With postman, right? That upside the space that they given to you to put the post is called public key. Anyone can put post, but the downside there is a one more space to collect all the posts, right? That is called private key. Only the postman can collect it, right? This is called public key and private key. All of a sudden you cannot go and open that. That private key is with only the postman, but still you can give information. Why? Because the public key is openly available. He will put the key over there, or else there will be no key at all. Only the open space just to put the post. Same here. Akka and Vijay public key is available to everyone, but the private key is with them only. So how to find out the match of public key and private key is the job of miners. They will do, and they will verify. Once the miner come with the final key, that will not validate it. Why? I already said you, 51% attack. What is that? If there are 100% in the mining who are involved, 51% should accept that is the proper key. So again, even you cannot generate a random key and say this is the proper key. No, everyone will validate that. Then you will have to get the majority of the guys who accept you. Then only it will get updated. Am I clear? Okay. This has been termed as unlocking and locking scripts. I already said you, right? If you want to first of all unlock, I already said you already. If you want to give 1,000 rupees, first you have to unlock, and once you get back the amount, as I said you, right? The 600. Once the 600 goes to Akka, so she will again lock the 600, right? When the 400 come back to Vijay, again Vijay will lock the 400, right? Same, similar. As I said you, my dad is giving me 1,000 rupees from the bureau. I unlocking. I'll go and purchase a good for 500. Again, I'll give you the 500. My dad will again lock that, right? So if you want to spend that UTXO, unlock it. After spending, lock it. Okay, see here. Output value that been belong to Vijay. This I already said you. Signature. See here. Signature plus the public key of Vijay. This is what the final transaction will be happening. You will be having a transaction ID, output index, and the signature is consist of both the thing. Your signature and also the public key, right? Now you will see here. So Bitcoin scripts execution. So this is how things will happen. So these are, I said you, right? Duplicate, public, equal, verify, check sig. Wait. See here. In the last column, last row, see that? Duplicate key, hash 160, pub key of Vijay, equal, verify. Everything you are having, right? You are going to put a bit, explain it. So unlocking script, whatever you need is signature plus public key. Yes, you will be having that. Locking script, these are the details you need that. Duplicate hash key you want, public key you want to check whether the both transactions has been equally verified, and finally checking the signatures, right? So this is how the the stack, we know the stack, right? So first in, first out, last in, first out, last in, last out, right? You all know that algorithms, how the stack algorithm, so the bucket, right? This is how it will work. So initially, when the process has been started, first of all, what is the public key, right? First signature is being loaded, right? Then the public key, what you are given, that will get loaded in the stack. Then duplicate stack. What the duplicate hash will do, it will always duplicate the previous hash value what is been having. What's the previous key we are having? Previous key is public key. So the public key is duplicated. That's why you are having two public key, right? So this duplicate will again duplicate the one more public key. Just okay. Then hashing. As I said you, once the duplicated public key will get hash. Now you understand why you are duplicating public key. Why? Because you need to have the original public key and also the hashed public key, right? With the same public key, if you do hashing also, then if you want to have original public key, how will you get that? Can you please remember what I said yesterday? French fries cannot be converted into potato again, right? So your public hashed key cannot be converted into public key again. So better have a copy and have your public key and then hash it. Hash it public key. Okay, and again one more public key hash what they are given. You are having public key hash, and that public key hash has been given into the stack one more time and equally verify. What is that? Mean that hashed public key and the public key hash what you have been given in the script, whether both are same or not, you are verifying equally. Once both are same, you are going to pop up the two blocks, right? So fine, pop up the two blocks and take the both the public key and equally verify. Then you are going to verify the public key with the signature. I already said you, right? Always your public key and signature has to get verified, and once they verified, you have to get for the final signature. If that comes as a true, that's it. Your Bitcoin script is being successfully made up, right? Equal verify is you are verifying public key and signature. Checking signature is the final signature. After verifying both, you are checking that signature. Once that signature is also exactly matching with what is your private key, finally you won the race. Your script has been successfully validated. This is how the real Bitcoin works. See this transaction. This is the screenshot that we got from the real Bitcoin site. See what are things you are having. Transaction ID, how much Bitcoin you are going to transfer, right? So the decoding output, whom you are going to send, everything. We'll see this in more detail. Why? Because you are straight away going to see the website. I'm going to give you the website. We'll see that. Blockchain contains 2-part header data. All those tips we are already seeing. Replicas, every peer in the blockchain needs to maintain local copy of the blockchain. I already said you, right? Yesterday I gave you an example, right? Magical notebook example. Do you remember? We are 100% are participating in this workshop. I'm giving a magical note to all the 100%. If I am writing hi, how are you? All the hundreds will get hi, how are you? If you are getting yes, I am fine, Sidhu. All the 100 members will receive yes, I am fine, Sidhu, right? So blockchain is more like a magical notebook. Whatever you are doing in one block, it's going to replicate in all the blocks. Everyone has to validate. Not all the transaction I am saying, only for validation, right? So whatever the one miner is been validating a particular hashing, that hashing key will get distributed to all. And that's why I said you cannot change anything also. If you want to change the transaction ID, okay, if you are sending a person 1,000 rupees, right? All of a sudden you want to change the 1,000 to 10,000. Already the 1,000 is having a transaction ID. If you want that to change for 10,000, the transaction ID has to change. If you change the transaction ID, if any small change happen in the block, every block will keep on changing it up, right? So more like the hashing algorithm. I said you, right? In a hashing algorithm, even if you give a single alphabet, or whole the Shakespeare drama notebook, or your entire the PhD thesis, everything is going to generate a small, a same amount of numbers with the message digest. That is called as an AE. You can know more about that. It's called an avalanche effect. Have you ever heard that? In physics, we would have heard that avalanche effect. What is avalanche effect actually? If a small change happens in a process, the entire output will be changed. Even let that be a very minor change. That's why I said even a caps letter. SIDH Sidhu, you give my name in small and caps. Why? Because their ASCII values are completely different. We know that, right? Just go and check it in Python. Give the caps value of A and ASCII value of small a. Check it up. You will have entirely different values, right? So that's how even small and caps matters. Change that, entire thing will get changed, and you are going to check that now. I'm going to give you a website. Wait. Security in blockchain. So each transaction, secure the digital signature, public private key. So these are the same old stories that we already seen, right? blockchain allows all the network participants to reach an agreement. That is called consensus. Okay, consensus is more like proof of work. I already said you, right? If you are making one change, everyone has to accept to that. Then only it will make a change. Fine. So we are done with the basic blockchain and everything. Now we are going to move into mining, right? So how the mining happens. So we are going to check all those stuff. So that is more interesting. Why? Because I am going to show you some real-time video. Okay, we are going to see how the real mining is going to happen. Even I am so excited about that, because like, see, even when there is a person saying there is a place where you can, people are mining money. You know what? Why they are given a name called mining? That is very interesting fact. You know what? Any idea? Like, you don't need to tell me like whether you know why people are calling us mining. Where will you use the mining? The world? Coal mining, gold mining. Huh? So mining is terms that already something that is existing. You are digging and getting that back, right? So that's why they are called as the non-renewable resources. Why the coal electricity has been considered non-renewable, while solar and wind is considered as renewable? Because there is no finite element for that. It's infinite. Just keep on digging the coal mine for 100, 200 years. Finally, you will end up with no coal over there, right? So at one point of time, it's non-renewable. You cannot renew that again. So similarly like that, why Bitcoin is also a non-renewable. I'm going to give you some interesting facts. Like we will discuss something, then we'll go to the next block. Even I am like technical stuff. We'll speak something funny in the way of Bitcoin. I'll tell you one fact. You know what? When Satoshi Nakamoto introduced Bitcoin, okay, you know how many Bitcoins he had given? On overall 21 million Bitcoins. That's it. So though it's a very big amount, you cannot exceed. Only in the world there are 21 million Bitcoin only. Again, one question comes, sir, what if all the 21 million Bitcoin are mined? Bitcoin is over. You can't believe that, right? Yes, that is the fact. It's not like more like your money. You will keep on printing how much you want. No, you cannot do that, right? So the monetary value of Bitcoin will keep on varying, and the amount of Bitcoins that's been already created is over there, and we are going to mine that. Now you will get the name why they are called as miners. Why the process is called mining? Because as like a coal, there is a place where a lot of Bitcoins are dumped in. These miners are going there and they're digging and they're getting every time new Bitcoins. Sir, how they are digging and getting a new Bitcoin, sir? That's how they are doing by this kind of mining process, by doing a hashing algorithm, by using a computation power. Once you are successful, I said you right, you will get that. And one more thing, again, to ask me a doubt. I said you every time when a miner gets a successful mining of a block, he will get $12.5. I mean 12.5 Bitcoins. Did you ask me who will give the 12.5 Bitcoins to him? At least the doubt came into your mind. If that doesn't came into your mind, that means that you are not fulfilled in your workshop. Why? Because that's the basic doubt, right? On Bitcoin, I'm saying about 650,000. All of a sudden, if a guy is getting 12.5 Bitcoins, who is going to give him that amount of money? Right? No one is giving him money. He is taking his own money. That's why it is called mining. Mining is like not X giving to Y. Earth is having all the resources. You are going and mining in the earth, right? More like Earth. Satoshi Nakamoto has already made a database of full of coins. No one can easily go and get the coins. I think you have watched a Marathi movie called Tumba. I don't know whether you watched it or not. It's a good movie. I think it's in Amazon Prime. You can just go and watch it. So it's a fantasy movie, more like a devil movie. Like not a devil movie, it's a bit fantasy. So there is a place where a guy will get a lot of coins. That coin is been present with the devil. If you want to go and get the coins from the devil will. It goes for a deep story. I don't want to tell the entire story. I'm short of time. If you have some free time in this lockdown, you can just go and watch the movie. It's more like getting the coins, right? So the devil will be having a lot of money. Every time this guy will go to a very tough process. There is a very deep hole. Inside the hole, he has to go within 60 seconds, 1 minute, or 2 minutes. He have to get all the coins. If it didn't get all the coins, the devil will kill him. Only the devil will give him 2 minutes, because he will get something to eat to the devil, right? He will throw that. The devil will be eating. Before that, he will get the coins, and again he have to run back, or else the devil will kill him. Nice, right? Why I'm saying all these stories similar to the Bitcoin? Exactly 10 minutes. Before that, get the hash value. Before that, find out the hash value and upload your block, or else your block will be invalid, right?
So once you have successfully done that, you will get coins. What? 12.5 coins. The value of coin, you know that. How many amount of money, right? See how cleverly we had connected blockchain and Tumba, right? So it's a Marathi movie actually. It's a nice movie, right? You can watch it. Okay, fine. Come back here. So that is how the entire blockchain will work. That's how the miners will work out. No one is giving money to miners here. Miners will always mine their own money. There is already huge amount of money that's been, I said you right, 12 million bitcoins, right? That 12 million bitcoins has been already present over there. Shall I give you a small calculation? Okay, when Satoshi Nakamoto introduced Bitcoin in 2008, there was 12 million bitcoins. Sorry, 21 million bitcoins. Now, have you ever wondered how many bitcoins are left now? You can check it by your own. Go to Google, type a statement, how many bitcoins are left. I searched it up because of for you. What? 150 bitcoins are left till now. It's left to be mined. Sir, what happens, sir, if all these amount has been already mined? What happened? There will be a question, right? Okay, sir, every day people are mining. And if even a single day, what if the people mined everything? No, you cannot do that, right? Why I am saying this is at maximum, at an average, every day only 144 blocks are added. Now you make the calculation. 144 blocks are added for every day. One block, people are getting 12.5 Bitcoin. 144 into 12.5 is equal to how many coins you will be getting. That is the answer. Every day that amount of coin has been mined. Shall I tell you one more thing? One more interesting factor? See, if you mine today, I mean exactly 28/5/2020, if you mine today, you won't get 12.5 Bitcoin. You will get 6.25 Bitcoin only. You know why? So far I've been saying you will be getting 12.5 Bitcoin. All of a sudden I had changed that to 6.5. So wait, I'll check that whether we are getting the tablet column or not. Why? Because there is one more technology Satoshi Nakamoto has already made. I want to give you the correct numbers. That's why I'm searching. Okay, I'm not getting that. Like, you can search it up. Okay, fine. I'm not getting that. So in Google somewhere it will be there. You can find it out. So I'll tell you. I know what has been happening. Just I want to give the exact numbers. That's why I've been searching. I'll tell you. Oh, initially I said you right. The Satoshi Nakamoto 21 million bitcoins. You know, in 2008 he launched the Bitcoin. What is the mining price? Mining price at that time is 50 Bitcoin. Can you imagine? So what Bitcoin, what you are getting now, it's been how many times over there at that time? 50 Bitcoins, yeah, if you mine a single block at that time. So then what happened? So why the reward has been reduced? Why? Because every particular amount of years, I just want to know the number of years. That's why I'm searching. Okay, let me directly search in Google like number of years. Okay, fine, got it. 4 years. Okay, every 4 years mining block will get keep on mining reward will get keep on decreasing. What decreasing in the sense? Not randomly. It's exactly get into half of the mining value. You can search it in Google, so you can find the answer. So the major reason is they are every time cutting into half of value. Why? Because there are only 21 million coins. Why they are cutting into half? Initially, I said in 2008 when they introduced, they will be mining for 50 Bitcoin, successful mining. As of today, they said 12.5. You know what? Exactly in this month. So how crazy? See, we are having workshop in this month, and this is the month exactly the 4-year period is ending. So crazy, right? This month, the 4 years period is ending, and it is getting converted into 12.5 to 6.5. Just see in Google. So we are so lucky to exactly have a workshop at that time. If again the 6.5 has to come to 3.5, right? That will take again 4 years. So 2020, right? 2024. Again at the time of 2024, it will again get reduced into 3. And again after 2024, 4 years become, it will come less than 1. Okay, less than 1 in the sense straight away 0. No, not 0. Again it will have 0.5. Again it will get reduced. Again it will get reduced. You know what is called Satoshi? People will always say that how many Satoshis you have earned. Not Bitcoin, Satoshi. I will tell you. 100 rupees. 101 rupees is called as 100 rupees, right? That is called basically denomination. So Bitcoin is also having a denomination, Satoshi. How many Satoshis are called as 1 Bitcoin? That called 100 million Satoshis is equal to 1 Bitcoin. See, what are the numbers so big, right? How the software works, how these guys are making 100 million. 100 million Satoshis is equal to 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin value I said about 6 lakh. What is Bitcoin value? 3 lakh 25,000. Okay. 0.25 Bitcoin value. 0.1 Bitcoin value. 0.001 Bitcoin value. 0.001. Like that, how many zeros you can have? 100 million Satoshis in the sense. Imagine. That much up to that Bitcoin. So what you want minus will get slowly they will stop mining, right? Is that an amount? Or that's going to help it out? That's why I said my Bitcoin is the future technology only for next to 2, but next to 5 to 10 years Bitcoin is. But who knows? It's been speaking about 10 years and not even 10 years. For big amount I'm saying, right? So let's make a small calculation. Let's have halving to do that around 2140, I think so. There will be no Bitcoin left. Now we are in 2020, 2140. At the year 2140, there will be no Bitcoin left. All the 21 million Bitcoin will be mined. There will be no Bitcoin left. Because you can make the calculation. 6.25 I said you, as of today's rate. Because that 12.5 has reduced to 6.25. That 6.25, if you are dividing that, make into half until the Satoshi reach the value of 0. You know how many halves you can make? Small calculation. You can do it by yourself. You can make 30 more halves. Right? Take a calculator. 6.25. Make that into 30 halves. 30 halves. Still, how you can see what minute value you will get. Up to that, Bitcoin will be there. Up to that, Bitcoin rewarding will be there. Only thing is miners will reduce because they are not ready to work for a very small amount of money, right? So that's it. So the 50 Bitcoin started with the 50 Bitcoin reward, and it will go to 0.8 zeros and small amount 101 or something. Up to that money they will go up, but that stage will reach on 2140, right? So exactly. It's a very long year. I don't know whether we are alive or not at that time, right? So it is a very long period. Let's see that. Like because before that, we know how many changes can go, right? So let me make a cross check. I'm speaking for a very long while. Sir, is everything okay, sir? Sir?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, fine, sir. Everything okay, right?
Continue, sir.
I'm speaking for a very long while. I don't know whether.
Please continue.
Yes. Okay, so we almost reached to the finale, but finally I'll give you one website. Please just go into that website so that you could learn something. We'll see something live. Okay. I'll give you two websites. First of all, first we'll check with all the Bitcoin. So far we are speaking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin, right? So just see how many Bitcoins, what is the value of the Bitcoin, all those things we'll check it once. Please check your chat box. Sir, please enable the chat box, sir.
Enabled, sir.
Yeah. I had posted it. Just go into that website, Coin Market Cap. Everyone, please go into that website. Chat box is open. You can ask any doubts regarding to that. You can see that that is the Bitcoin website, what I had showed you. So every day you can see the value of Bitcoin here. So how many Bitcoin has been in the market, how the values are increasing, how the values are decreasing. Yesterday, Gauss spoke of the Ethereum, right? You can see that value also, right? So it's more like a share market. How many shares you are buying, how many shares are already over there. If you spend a share today, what is the share value, how much you are going to get, all those things have been here. You can see one more word called circulating supply. That is like those many number of Bitcoins are still circulating among the persons, right? Market cap is like total number of coins they are having up. So this is just a basic site. You can see that. See how many coins are. Let me check it. So 200 Bitcoins they are given here, total of, right? So all these 200 Bitcoins will be used by certain amount of people. They will be always using. So since we are speaking about only this Bitcoin, that's the primary Bitcoin value. So that we are choosing. Now I'll give you one more site. Check that. This is how the real Bitcoin transaction will happen. Check this. This is quite interesting. This is got from the MIT, so Massachusetts Institute. So just go and see that. Can you see this? Can you see my, sir? My screen?
Yeah, it's coming, sir.
Yeah. You click the blockchain. This is how the blockchain will be formed. Can you see that? Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. Block 1 they are given. This is a nonce value. I already said you, right? Just give some random nonce value by yourself. Give some random number. Let me give 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 4, 1, something, and I'll give mine. Mining is going. You can see that hash value has changed, right? Now I will change the data. Hi, professors. I'll give mine. What's the spelling? Okay, it's a typo. Okay, professors. Okay, fine. After mining, you can see the hash value, right? Hash value has changed. Why the previous hash value is 000 here? Why? Because this is called a Genesis block, right? I already said you what is about Genesis block. Genesis block is the first block. Always the first block won't be having any previous block. Okay, it's a first block. Now you can see the hash value that has been replicated in the second block. Check that. Check the second block. See the previous hash. See the hash value. Now tell me, can you hack this? If you want to hack the block number 3, you want to hack the remaining block also, right? So let me check the chat session. Somebody has asked. Can everyone see this? So mining and all those stuff, you can see the list of blocks also. Okay. See all the blocks, right? So fine. So finally, before getting into that, like I want to show you something. Check this link once again, professors. I'll send you one link. Please check this. Check this link. I had given tools, right? This is a hashing tool. You can please hash it. Once try for hashing. I'll share my screen also. This is how the hashing is done. Hashing calculator. Wait, I will share my screen. Downside, you can select your algorithm. There are a lot of hashing algorithms. These many algorithms are there, right? Tiger, Haval, MD5, SHA. But I already said you, right? What is the hashing algorithm used for blockchain? SHA 256. Now let's try for hashing. Hope this excites. Hash this. I'm getting a hash value, right? You can check down a result, right? Now what I'm going to change is I'm just going to change that H into capital letter. I didn't change anything, even the same letters only. Only thing is I'm changing the caps. Now I will hash this. Did you see that? Not one letter. Complete hash is changed. Complete hash. Right? So this is how the hashing algorithm will work on. I'm having still a lot of material, sir, really. So like even if you give me 1 week, I'll keep on taking the classes. So blockchain is more like a ocean. All I can give you is 2 buckets of water from that. That's it. So this we cannot like do in this 3 days of workshop. This is a very big, because entire certification is there for blockchain. A lot of job opportunities. So it's more like what we think of. Like it's like very big area. So before getting into that, like so again today also please lend me from 20 minutes more, right? Sir, shall I, sir?
Yeah, please continue.
Just 10 minutes, sir, please.
Please continue, sir.
Okay, sir. Like I just don't want to stop it. Okay. So one more share. You please check my PPT. Professors, can you see this about mining process and all those things? So see, these are things also I want to explain it. This is a very big process about complete mining. So I cannot explain all those stuff just because of time constraint. See, I prepared a lot actually. So soon, once or other time, we will again meet and I will again share you. So, but the major thing is like, only thing I want to show you is, so far we are speaking about mining, right? Shall I show you like really how the mining place looks like? That is interesting, right? See this one. This is raw hex version. You know what is this? Genesis block. What is a Genesis block? First block that has been created by Satoshi Nakamoto, 2008. Real blockchain block. This one. I got it. It's so exciting, right? This is the first block ever created in blockchain. Ever. First block, right? I'll send you this picture. You can save it. Like, this is so precious because this has been created by Satoshi itself. See here, this one. Block rewarding having dates. I said you, right? So every particular 4 years, your mining will keep on getting into half. I have been searching for a long time. This is what I'm searching. See the reward. Genesis block created in 2008 or 9. Okay, fine. First half when it's been made. Second half, third half, all those terms. Can you see that? Third half having mid 2020. Now where we are? Exactly in mid 2020. Okay. Here in the place, then we can likely see how it's going to the block. So we are reducing from 4.5 to 6.5. So lucky that we got this workshop on the same day. I could not believe this coincidence, right? Okay. So next half, it will take again 4 years. 2024, 3. Again 2020, and it will keep on going up. How many times? 30 halves. So that means that 30 plus 4. 120 years. 120 years, Bitcoin will be there. But we won't be there. Right? So, after 120 years, it's stopping.
Sir, your voice is very low, sir.
Very low, sir.
Now voice is breaking.
Okay, it's fine. So you can make the calculation, right? So 2028, so 5 halves, still 30 halves. So that means that still 120 years, Bitcoin will be there. As I said, Bitcoin will be there, but we won't be there. But still, this is how. Okay, fine. See this one. I said you right. So what exactly will happen it for mining A6 process? This is the process. Well, I'll show you in Zoom. Antminer. Who is Antminer? You want me to show that? I'll show you. Like these are the top miners who have been present in US, Korea, Japan. These guys are invested a lot of millions. You can see this is the actual mining. Even you can order this in Amazon and Flipkart. A few thousands it would be, but you need a complete setup to do mining by yourself. Even you cannot do Bitcoin mining because actually I am going to do that. So I am collecting money. So one day or other day, because this is my ambition, I want to do a Bitcoin miner. I know this is a very big task for the Indian to get asked. So I'm doing the certification. So once I become properly certified, so like this is what my future is. So let's see like how far I could go into this. So even if you are coming, please come join with me. We can do it. So this is a mining, right? This is the mission for doing for mining. Antminer is the leading miner who are working in this Bitcoin mining. Okay. See, always know one thing. As I said, a single person cannot mine a single block. There are two things here. One is solo mining. Other one is pool mining. See, there are a lot of stuff still I am pending to say to you. Whatever I said is hardly 40%. Still 60% is remaining. What is pool mining and a solo mining? Solo mining is you are sitting in your home, having a mining machine with you, doing it in a laptop. And if you want to try to get a block, you will need minimum 100 years to mine a single block by what computation power what you are having, right? But hardly they are giving you 10 minutes. Where is 10 minutes? Where is 100 years? You can't even mine in your whole life. Even your whole generation cannot mine a single block. So that is called solo mining. You cannot do that. But one more thing is there. What is called pool mining? Pool mining is very interesting. There are set of guys who are already invested. They had formed a mining pool. You have to go and join them. And you have to create your own mining hashes. And you have to contribute to them. And what they will do, they will split the money. If once they successfully mine the block, 12.5, okay, 6.5, 6 cross 6, 30, 36 lakhs, okay, have around 40 lakhs they will get for mining a single block for a single day, right? They're not going to mine only one block in a day. They will mine multiple blocks. As I said, one day, 144 blocks will be mined on average. Let's have their minimum, they're mining 2 blocks. Enough, yeah, 60 lakhs, 70, 80 lakhs you are getting, right? So what they will do is they will divide the money among the poolers. If I am in their pool, they will give a certain amount of money to me also. I will get that. That is called pool mining. Always pool mining is being recommendable, right? People always say that mining will always go in loss. It is a very high risk. Okay, fine. It's up to them. Even share market is a high risk. Aren't people are investing? Even myself, I am investing in share market, right? So I got a lot of gallons of gas. Once you know that the oil price has been below zero, that's the best time to invest, right? So even I am having a lot of shares, rather be mutual fund or the intraday market. Even I have been investing, right? So it's been about mining only, share only. So if you want to really invest, you can see real mining. This is the setup of mining. You can go and join over there. So that you can mine the coins. So I'm getting a lot of chats and sessions. Let me check the chat once. Can you see that? Mining, setup network. So voice is breaking. Informative. Thank you. Thank you sharing for the blockchain available. Okay. Scope of research still to the members. Okay, fine. So Gauss sir asked about scope of research. Definitely, I will tell you, because the research scope has been very, very high in this. Why I am saying this? Like I just now I said you right. Calculating the nonce value. Calculating the nonce value is a great research area. So people are so far calculating only MD5 algorithm. Why can't you use some other algorithm? Try with a different kind of algorithm to calculate the hash value. If you are trying with different kind of algorithm, you can come to know what are the shortcomings, right? Just in algorithm alone, you can put more than 100 papers there. Because blockchain papers in blockchain and Bitcoin is very less in Google Scholar. Just go and search it up, you'll have very less. So work on cryptography hashing algorithm and how the hashing algorithm is working. So why it's taking, every block is taking a particular amount of time. So what is the probability for a hacker to be, okay, I already said about hashing algorithm. Now come to the processor. If you are using A6 processor, what is the thing? If you are using your normal laptop, do a live demonstration, take the output. There are a lot of mining software. The problem with only the research area is you have to get a real-time mining software. That you cannot help it. You have to buy a software, right? But software is not so costly. You can check it up in mining software. You just surf in Google. You can find out a lot of softwares. There's 3 or 4 professors who are really interested in blockchain. Put the money and get that mining software and work on it. Really, I am saying you, mark my words, the probability of paper acceptance in the SCI journals. I am not speaking about Scoopus. I always say to professors, once you are a doctorate, please never ever in your life imagine of Scoopus. No, Scoopus is not your grade. Only SCI, ESCI, right? So you have to be your focus on Annexer 1 papers, right? Leave about Scoopus journals always. Focus on SCI. Yes, it will take time, right? So definitely there is a difference between silver and diamond, right? You can have 10 Scoopus in your account, but 1 SCI is more than everything. That is your diamond in your crown. Always try to have more SCIs. I'm saying that elsewhere, computers and security, there are a lot of journals in Wiley and Sons. They are having, and Springer is having good amount of blockchain journals. MDPA is having, but MDPA is a paid journal. Better don't go into that. Try with elsewhere, right? So IEEE. So definitely it will take time, but the amount of rate of acceptance is very, very high when compared to the other areas. Because I tried with cybersecurity, machine learning, cloud computing. Try with the blockchain, even cloud computing, right? These are the areas you will have high rate of acceptance for SCI journals. Definitely you can try it up. Just give it a try. Okay. Okay. Before ending the session, my last wish, right? Actually, I don't want to end the session. I just want to keep on continuing. Anyway, it's a lunch time. Hope you will scold me soon. So before ending it to that, so let me show you a final video, right? One small video, exactly 5 minutes. Please be patient. Why? Because this video is so interesting. I'm going to show you how the real mining place works up, right? Please let us see that. So, and then we will end the session. Okay. So I am going to share the video. Hope you will get the voice also. I will change the setting. So this is how the live mining setup is been happening in US. So share. Okay. Just 5 minutes exactly. Can you see that, everyone? Sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right now, the world is basically in the middle of a second gold rush. But the thing is, it's not gold that people are actually after this time around. It's Bitcoin, the biggest, baddest cryptocurrency on the planet. But the thing about Bitcoin is that because it's a digital currency, you obviously can't just dig it out of the ground with a pickaxe. So to get a better sense of how cryptocurrency mining works, we're here in northern Washington to visit one of the biggest Bitcoin mines in the United States and to see what goes on behind the scenes.
Sound you're hearing is the sound of 1,800 servers computing. This is a mining facility. So we operate ASIC servers specifically for the Bitcoin blockchain protocol. As you can see it's a warehouse environment. Our facilities manufacture about 7 Bitcoin per day.
The servers in this room do that by solving a difficult math problem called a cryptographic hashing function. In the simplest possible terms, they're solving a puzzle that's generated by the Bitcoin network. About every 10 minutes, a new puzzle or block in the chain is released. The reward for solving that puzzle is currently 12.5 Bitcoins. Working together, all the Bitcoin miners on Earth unlock about 1,800 Bitcoins each day, and about 0.4% of those are mined in this very room. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when we filmed this video, this Bitcoin mine generated about $70,000 a day. That's $2.1 million a month, all in this one room.
These are ASIC processors, application-specific integrated circuits. The chip design is specifically to run the protocol that is Bitcoin blockchain. It's code, right? It's specifically a chip design to run that code at a much higher rate of speed. So what you have to understand about Bitcoin is it's a commodity. Most of the world doesn't understand it's actually code with an underlying technology value.
Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are decentralized, with every transaction being recorded in the blockchain ledger. Bitcoin mining is essentially processing those transactions and adding links to the blockchain. Each link in the chain created every 10 minutes contains about 2,500 transactions.
It's held speculatively, okay? So how much money do you make every day is a function of not when we create it. It's a function of when we sell it. So what do? We manufacture it continuously, we hold it for when the price runs up, and then we sell it, we take the proceeds, and we expand our operation.
Expansion is essential because as more Bitcoin miners come online and servers become more powerful, the puzzles become more difficult to solve. The Bitcoin mining algorithm continuously adjusts to keep the mining rate constant, one block in the chain equaling 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And the Bitcoin algorithm only allows for the creation of 21 million Bitcoin, meaning the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140.
Why Wenatchee? Wenatchee is on the Columbia River. We are part of what's called the Mid-Sea Columbia string of hydroelectric dams. We have cheap, plentiful, green hydroelectric power right here.
That means the cost of power is relatively cheap, about $100,000 a month right now.
This facility is a 2 megawatt facility. We are building a 10 megawatt facility now, and we are breaking ground on a 20 megawatt facility, and then we also have 8 megawatts worth of facilities under construction in 2 separate locations. And in addition to that, we are in the process of developing projects for another 80 megawatts, all at this time.
That growth is essential because the world is in the middle of a Bitcoin mining gold rush. Profit margins can be 70% and higher for mining operations, and miners big and small are looking to cash in.
If you can get tech infrastructure closer to the source and not have to build out all the distribution network, you drastically reduce the cost and the bottleneck. So we are building this emerging technology here in Central Washington State because we're close to the source and we have a fiber backbone, an international fiber backbone that travels right through our valley. This region is naturally situated to be one of the international epicenters for this emerging technology we call blockchain.
So hope the video excites, right? So did you mention, I mean, I noticed one thing, what you said that they particularly, oh yeah, fine. So they particularly made this place to be present in the hydroelectric dam. Why? You know, one interesting fact, shall I say you? The amount of electricity consumed by 1 Bitcoin whole mining, complete mining, is equal to Denmark's per day electricity. A Denmark country's complete electricity is being based on a single mining plant. Then imagine the electricity power, how much they are generating. That's why after leaving all the major cities like California, Tokyo and everything, they just went off, finally leaving Washington and everything, they went off to the dam side, right? That to hydroelectric dam. And they are generating electricity from the dam itself. And they are using particularly for mining. And you know what? You can search more about that mining because I did. They are going to extend the mining also, a complete mining plant. And for your kind information, India is not having a single mining. right? So, okay, fine. So let me end this because it's been lunchtime. Thank you so much, professors. So I'll take this as a privilege. I'll never forget these sessions, right? So I know you all are much more experienced than me because I'm hardly 30. My teaching experience only have 4 to 5 years. So thank you for listening to me, though I am a junior. Like, thank you so much. So I need your support forever. So let's go learn more about this technology, right? So thank you, professor. Actually, it's a privilege to me to take for professors. If it's a student, that's a different case. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, anyone have any queries?
If you have any queries, please ask it, sir. And moreover, as I said, so far we have dealt about only 40%, right? Because nonce value is there, calculation of nonce value, adding of zeros, and again calculation of as, still lots and lots are pending. But definitely we'll come back today with the same team. We'll come back again. We'll deal more, right? So I'll encourage you to do more certification. And really, if you want, like, I'll give my phone number. Actually, I was about to say that. 1 minute, like, you can see my number here, right? Like, I'll share my screen once. So actually, we are doing this is nowhere related with the workshop. So we are investing in Bitcoin called GiltraBit. Like, we are having a team and we are investing. So really about coming into business perspective, if you want to earn something, and the investment is very low. So around only 2,000 to 3,000. Initially, we are just accumulating the coins and we are doing a referral kind of business to make up the coin popular, and we are working on it. So the investment is very less. So if you are really interested to work on, Bitcoin business strategy, so I think you can really earn a good amount of money. I just don't want to make up my business into this workshop. That's why I didn't say anything about that. Just putting up a small point. If you're really interested, just come on contact. We'll speak up personally because I need a technical person. So I can't call some persons who don't know about technology, right? So only the persons who are good in technology only can invest in this. So we will speak it up. Fine, right? If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Sir, what is gas, sir? Gas
So
exactly.
gas has been completely based on Ethereum, sir. So that is nothing to do with the related with this Bitcoin. Gas is the pure. It been based on Ethereum, and usually gas we will use for, like, to transfer the ether, sir. So it's more like transferring transaction amounts. If you see, I forgot to say Bitcoin. I said you got Bitcoin reward, but one more thing I forgot. In Bitcoin reward, there is a transaction fee. I said you an example, right? Tom is sending 5 Bitcoin to Alice, he's giving 3 coins. No. He cannot only send 3 Bitcoin.
Yes, yes, sir.
And one more small amount.
Sir,
As an additional
your voice is low, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, now.
He will send one more small amount as a transaction fees also. The transaction fee will go to the miner. So miner will get the block reward and also transaction fees. And more like in Ethereum, rather as a transaction fees, they will send a term called gas. The gas is more like a transaction fee for Ethereum, right? So whenever you want to transfer some ethers, you need to spend some amount of gas. Okay, sir. So that is the major thing. And this value of gas will vary from user to user. There is no constant value of gas. And one more thing I will say, if you are sending some ethers to one person to other person, you want the miners to validate, right? Miners won't take all the transaction. I already said you, if miner want to take up a transaction, he needs some reward. Until unless you are giving more gas to the miners, more ethers to miners, then only he will take your transaction. Very simple. I am transferring 1,000 rupees to one person. I am spending 1,000 and 100. 1,000 rupees to him, 100 rupees as a transaction fee for the miner. You are sending the same 1,000 rupees to one more person, but you are giving 1,300. So that 1,000 to one person, that 300 rupees as a transaction fee for the miner. Now miner will take which transaction? Yours or mine? Obviously he will take yours. He is getting 300 from you, only 100 from me. So that is called ether transformation. So that is how and gas is having a lot of constraints. I hope Gaussar has already explained gas limit, gas price, and everything. So I can take a complete session over that. So we are not having much of time. So gas limit is like maximum amount of unit of gas that you are willing to spend on a transaction. How many gas you want to spend is your wish. But if your gas amount is very less, miner won't take your transaction. Miner will go for the highest amount. It's more like profit, sir. That guy is investing a lot. So the guy won't come for all the transactions. So that's a major thing.
Okay. I think. Sir, thank you, sir. It's a new technology, wonderful session. we got the more information from you, sir. And now, Jani Basha, sir.
Sir,
Can you please the
yes,
vote
sir,
of thanks, sir?
yes, sir. We are about to
Vote
close
of-
the session, sir. First of all, I would like to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Kallam Harnath Reddy Institute of Technology. So let's start with thanking the management because of their support only we have arranged this FDP session. Our chairman, sir, Mr. Kallam Harnath Reddy, who is the chairman of this college, and with real knowledge and with very keen interest in providing education to all the lower so he has established the college. So I would like to thank Kallam Harnath Reddy, sir, who is the chairman of KHIT, and really thank you very much, sir. And after that, our director, sir, who is managing the college, who is Mr. Umashankar Reddy. So he has a very good vision, and he will always try to give arrange these kind of workshops and motivate all the HODs and other staff members to arrange these kind of workshops. And also he will encourage us to follow and update ourselves with all these kind of workshops so that we are well equipped with the resources, then we can deliver to the students also. So that is his main motivation. So we very thankful for Umashankar Reddy, sir, and our HOD, Mr. Dr. K. Venkat Subba Reddy, sir. So because of his interest only, we have arranged this workshop. Okay, so he is the main person behind this workshop who contacted the resource persons, and he has arranged this session to all the faculty members all over the India. So I'll really thank Dr. K. Venkat Subba Reddy, sir, who is HOD of KHIT CSE department, and Samson, sir, he is the main convener of this program. So he has contributed a lot for conducting this workshop in this good manner. Every time to time, he is messaging me, and he is following up the technical issues and everything. So he is the main person behind this who helped us for the smooth conduction of this FDP. And one more person who is a technical guy behind us. Always he don't want to come on the screen, but he's the main person who helped us to conduct this FDP very smoothly. That is Mr. Mahesh Reddy, sir, who is also my colleague in KHIT. So with this, with his support only, we have done this without any technical issues. And the most important persons who has given us some very good information and who has given us their time and patience, Mr. Dr. Siddharth sir and Dr. Gauss Beg sir, who are the resource person for this FDP. I'm very, very thankful to you, sir, and hope in future also we are looking maintaining a good relationship and looking forward to conduct these kind of workshops again in future also. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
And finally, thank you all the participants. Because of you only, this program is very successful. Thank you very much, sir. Finally, from my side also, I am very much thankful to Dr. Siddhartha sir and Dr. Gauss Beg sir. Thank you very much, sir. This is wonderful session, sir. Thank you very much. Dear participants, today we will share the YouTube link also. Today we have an assessment test at 2 o'clock. It is from 2 to 2:30. Okay. Gauss Beg sir, anyone interested, invest 2,250. Okay, sir. We will contact you, sir, at any time. Please share your knowledge to us. Thank you. Now, at 2 o'clock, we have the assessment test, and it is from 2 to 2:30. I request you all, please submit before 2:30 p.m. After 2:30 p.m., it will not accept. It will not, the computer, it will not accept, sir. Okay. Please submit before 2:30 p.m. Okay. Now this is enough. Now I am concluding this meeting. Thank you once again, one and all. Thank you. I'm ending, sir. Back,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Back, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Back, sir. You want to say anything, sir? You are in the session. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I am ending this session.
Okay, sir. Thank you.